A statue of my brother. How quaint.
That's odd. The runes are dark.
What purpose does all this serve, other than a testament to my brother's vanity?
Difficult to say without an inscription. But it looks like the elves built this place together, light and dark. Which means this would have been their first act of cooperation in generations. A far cry from lasting peace, but perhaps it served as a monument. One that symbolizes the potential for peace.
This statue may have survived Freya's absence, but a truce clearly did not. Monuments are useless to those who ignore their message.
He didn't create a truce through diplomacy alone. His godhood, his very presence is what healed this land and allowed peace to take root. But once he left, he had to have known what would happen.
Well, he had good reason to leave. Some jackass convinced his sister to marry a madman.
You said monuments are useless. Why restore this one?
It was hidden for some time. Perhaps now it can serve as a reminder.
Aye. Nothing reminds people of their history like chiseled, well-lit marble.
These crystals contain their own life.
You're right. Normally we'd have to provide our own. Perhaps slotting a crystal on the opposite side could shed some light on this mystery.
That did something. Oh no. The ring of crystal shards glow.
Looks like we can read the inscription now as well.
Light from the crystals. It is in the sand now.
Would you look at that? Freya's gift endures after all. Or should I say, his presence?
You are not funny.
What's it say, brother?
when Freyr was actually here, the peace was fragile. Surely a bit of extra light in the desert isn't enough to make it last.
Before I met Faye, I could not imagine a life of peace. After her death, in our travels to Jotunheim, I found peace on my own. It remains my responsibility to make it last.
Perhaps the elves will find peace again one day, even without Freyr's guidance.
His presence continues to guide them, whether they realize it or not.
Key?
The key.
Must open something around here.
Freya, here.
A dawn bloom. You have an interest in botanicals now?
Another sleeping troll, courtesy of the dwarves.
You know, I would have beaten you
What?
earlier, if Atreus hadn't been there.
Perhaps.
We could go again, find out for certain.
I would rather not.
I'll bet you wouldn't.
Another key, eh? Sooner or later, we're gonna have to find a lock to put them in.
A light elf statue in the desert. Odd.
Aye. Fair bet this is the Sanctum Bigveer spoke of in Vanaheim. Freya, do you mind picking up that story about your brother? You mentioned a giant had come to Vanaheim to teach you of the Bifrost.
Yes, Girth. Freyr became immediately infatuated with her. He always yearned to wander, and along came someone who could truly show him how. So, wander they did, exploring the world tree from root to branch. But one day, it came time for Girth to wander away. Freyr was heartbroken, and resolved himself to perform some great feat to win her back. He set his aim on the grandest of gestures. He intended to be the first to find the elusive source of Bifrost light. And he succeeded, although quite by accident. Freyr believed he navigated best while fortified by a potent blend of Vanir herbs. When he wandered, he wandered. And he managed to wander from the World Tree directly into the Lake of Souls. The elves have never seen anybody come out of the lake before, so it got some attention.
Oh, that is bloody hilarious.
I don't know whether he worked his charms at that point or they just assumed him to be a great deity. But of course, he hadn't made this journey in search of responsibility, so he didn't stick around long. Still, the legend of his manifestation was passed along through the ages. It even endured after the Great Division, remembered by light and dark elf alike. So when at last he returned, he was uniquely situated to gain the trust of both sides and help to create a truce. The problem was, both sides trusted only him. So the peace could only last as long as he stayed around to keep it. And with the long war dragging on without an end in sight, I suppose making any kind of peace was an irresistible notion for him, even if it meant having to rule.
Behind you, brother! Big ball of light coming your way! Light elf architecture. It's massive.
A token.
A badge of honor. The elves made a few of these. They'd hang them up outside their dwellings. Show their support for my brother. Something is coming, and it's not happy. Watch out for the scales!
Your guess is as good as mine. Imprisoning a drake. Can't decide whether to be impressed or horrified.
Either way, it is over now.
Perhaps we can bring these two animals back to Vanaheim, or Midgard even. Becky and Svanna could use the company. We have kennels.
It would not go well for them. Once a predator becomes accustomed to a land, it is cruel to move them.
I suppose you're right. It just seems lonely out here.
It is peaceful. They have each other. It is enough.
I don't see any signs of battle, just the end of one. Elf graves. An entire mausoleum. But why here and not in the temple?
A fair question.
With no clear answer.
Put it on one of my horns. Let's see if I can pull it off.
No.
That's all my brother's tributes.
Would you prefer we hang on to them?
Do what you will. If Freyr didn't bother taking them when he left Alfheim, he wouldn't mind us selling them to the dwarves. An elven library.
An archive of knowledge.
No sign of the Light Elves.
For now.
Maybe they've left for the day, and we can browse at our leisure. So, these are the Valine schematics, eh?
You know of him?
Aye. One of the most gifted dwarven smiths around. Till he developed a conscience, anyhow.
Look here. These texts alone are not enough to end the Elven War, but restricting their access only serves those who wish to prolong it.
Taking a page out of Odin's book.
Aye. Quite the advantage for the Light Elves. This book is sealed, but there is an inscription. The console. Big Veer spoke of an exile of the same name. Odds are he'd like a gander at that particular text.
All this knowledge of their ancestors, their shared history, poetry, it's just sitting here, forgotten. What a waste.
Ah, it appears the librarian would like a word.
Lata Frambog.
Sounds like she wants that journal back.
No.
Shield strike now! Yosalfa. Thought. Megivita. Algebrotina.
She thinks she's protecting them by hiding all this knowledge away.
Our ally wishes to read this journal. We are taking the book.
I'm impressed. Thought you were going to end her.
When last we traveled here, after Faye passed, I killed an elf of great importance. The ramifications were dire for his people. I do not wish to make the same mistake twice.
You know, Freyr loved to breed Gulan pups in Vanaheim. I wonder if these two are the descendants of the Gulan he brought here long ago.
That explains how they got to the desert. Another gift for the Dark Elves.
What is that?
A phantom! Rogue magic! Aim for the runic thor!
Bloody hell, look at that thing!
It's vulnerable when it
Give yourself an
glows!
opening, don't waste it!
Now! Attack the rune!
Nicely done! Keep on it!
Kratos, the spring! Destroy them! Alka!
Attack!
Done! Now! Attack!
Give yourself an opening, don't waste it!
Thor is weakened!
Close in! Attack!
Knock them down, quickly! Well, yet another gift of Fimbulwinter, I suppose.
The magic draining out of all of us has to end up somewhere.
written poetry of your own, brother?
No.
Well, ask a stupid question. I must say, I think we make a good team. With my brains, Kratos' brawn, and my lady's,
Wisdom? Magic? Ability to tolerate you for long periods of time?
I was going to say brutality.
That works. regret it, Mimir?
Most likely. What are we talking about in particular?
Giving up your body?
Do I regret exchanging my life for my freedom? That's a question I ask myself every day, my lady.
What about today?
Hey, glad to be out in the world. How else could I spend such quality time with you?
Okay, okay.
On your guard, Kratos!
Freya, you once revived a giant's corpse to stop a certain fight we won't talk about. Could you call on that power again?
Maybe. Do you have a massive giant's corpse for me to revive?
No?
Well, there you go.
wonder, how'd these two pups end up yoked to the sled?
Ever try flying in a sandstorm? I imagine Freyr showed the Dark Elves that Gulon could be trained to pull a plow. They must have found new uses for them once the sandstorm arrived. I imagine they're now bred to aid in traveling the surface.
Brother, in my travels, I heard of a great battle in your homeland, at a place called the Gates of Fire.
The Hut Gates.
You were there?
No.
Is that regretting it?
I did regret not dying there for many years. But no longer.